What's up, y'all? I don't think I've ever played any McWall on the channel. I need to fix that. Keep... Oh! Cat, get in the frame. Here you go. Cat, what are you doing? What are you doing, Cat? Come on. Come on. We're filming over here. We're filming. How everybody doing? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Kernagia Nunslaughter split. What did I say? The Halls of Leviathan. Apparently this was recorded at a concert. You had no uninvited guests. You had to be invited to come to this. Amazing sound, though. Amazing sound. Came with that little thing right there. And they're saying it's like limited to a certain number of copies. Dog owns it, of course. This has got Paul Gorfiend on vocals. Yep. Doesn't have Brian Baxter on bass, but that, I think there was a video that Justin put up where Brian Baxter was on bass. It says a different bass player here. And then the mighty Chris Dora on drums. Oh yeah. Yeah. And then we got good old Nunslaughter. I dig it. Kernagia is awesome. All the guys picking in it are tight, so yeah. What you think, Cat? I don't know. Comments again? Comments again? Shit, we got TCO on this motherfucker again. Ah. Badass. Divinity Denied. Reminds me of that Monstrosity, Destroying Divinity. Off, I don't remember. But that song with Perpetual War. Ooh, Monstrosity, Perpetual War. I lost that album. I wish I had it. I need to get that one again. A couple of good tracks off that. Forgot what album that was. It was right after Millennium. No, it wasn't. Maybe it was. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Monstrosity. Who likes that? So somebody suggested Megadeth guy, Marty Friedman. And I'm not a huge Megadeth fan, so I don't know. And then I commented I only like Metallica with Cliff Burton. Well, TCL feels me there. Metallica says Metallica fell off after Cliff Burton. I don't think they're really alone in that sentiment either. You don't think he doesn't think he's alone. But he would like to see the common consensus. Yeah, I say that all the time. Metallica, as long as it's got Cliff Burton. No, everybody's like, oh, okay, yeah, but what about? Hey, what'd I say? Got Cliff Burton in it? I don't care. But Megadeth, though, was probably my first metal band, TCL says. And definitely my first favorite band. Yeah, that is. So you guys all saw Form. Apparently there's a lot of people, Megadeth. I didn't realize how much Megadeth got people into metal. I knew a lot of people back in the day loved it. A lot of people. They're all like, man, it's Megadeth. And I'm like, yo, bro, you ever heard this? Reek of Putrefaction. Cause of Death. You know, like... TCL continues. Not sure if that makes me a poser for liking the most well-known thrash band, but oh well. Well, you got to get started somewhere. Everybody, you got to get started somewhere. You got to get your first metal band, first one you hear, that truly gets you into it, where you're like, ooh, I like metal now, you know what I mean? For me, it was like Cannibal Corpse. That was my intro into like metal. But that was, it's like, but everybody else has like thrash metal bands. Like, how was your death metal your first metal band? Now, I knew Megadeth. I knew Metallica. I didn't like it. I was like, whatever on it. So, me here at Cannibal Corpse, I was like, more please. And by the time I got to the mighty Incantation, oh, that's when I knew. Upon the Throne of Apocalypse. Scored that from Current Sound Exchange, Houston, Texas. Oh, when I got that Hemdale Exhumed split, oh, I knew I was going to be into metal forever. I'd already listened to Cannibal, and I was like, I like metal because of Cannibal, Deicide, Carcass, Obituary. And once I got the mighty Incantation, that Hemdale Exhumed split, ooh, that's when I knew I was going to be, I'm going to be into this. Kat, what was your first metal band? I don't know. What was the first thing you played? I don't recall. But anyways, yeah, kicking over that Megadeth rock. That definitely gets people commenting. Again, it's kind of strange to me because I guess for some people it's like Slayer. It's like Megadeth or Slayer. It seems to be the two big ones. Metallica has to get that obligatory nod for some reason. It's okay to not like Metallica. I said it, guys. It's okay to not like them. Although Battery's a bad fucking song. Battery is such a badass fucking song. I'll give you that one. Kernagia and Nunslaughter split. The Halls of Leviathan. Dusk Blade X. Hey, Dusk Blade, seen you in the comments before. Chatting with you. Good. Dusk Blade says, hidden knowledge doesn't necessarily mean control. He goes on, I would like to propose a thought. Knowledge could be hidden because most of it is beyond communication. For example, there's a lot of information that can only be acquired through years of training. I could show you books and books on how to play guitar, and you might never truly learn how to make that baby cry. The guitar. Yeah. I can show you music theory books all day long. Does not help you play an instrument. You're right. Another reason why a message could be hard to communicate is it takes time to get a certain set of skills, knowledge criteria, and lifestyle dispositions to receive the message accurately. Boom! Duskblade, I think you really said that well. Let's go ahead and read that again. So to say, hidden knowledge does not necessarily mean control. A cool sentence here is a reason why a message could be hard to communicate because it takes a certain set of skills, knowledge criteria, and lifestyle dispositions to receive the message accurately. To receive the message, you have to have, we call that prerequisites. In the collegiate world, they call that prereqs. Gotta have pre-required knowledge, prerequisite of knowledge and skills before you can go to the next skill. I could show you this upper level stuff, but if you don't have the foundation, it's not gonna mean anything to you. I could show you upper level theory, but if you don't know your scales, it's gonna be kind of hard to show you the upper level theory. Duskblade is going to continue. Bringing someone all the way around to understand these topics is simply too much effort if they're not already primed to receive the message. Boom, you're good. Therefore, the message is locked behind a gate and can only be communicated by people who are ready. Once you have, those secret handshake people, the Freemasons, you have to do certain things to go to your next level. You have to receive the message and then display that you know how that idea works. And you go to the next one, till you start getting higher up in those things. Most people you will meet are probably only 3rd or 4th level Freemason. I have that on good authority. Most people you meet are only 3rd or 4th level. And you can usually tell when someone, like, this always happens, especially in the South. Someone's like, oh, my grandfather, my great-grandfather was a master mason. He was a 33rd degree level mason. Master mason. Master doesn't mean 33rd. Master means like 3rd or 4th, depending on which school of masonry you're talking about. Like, when they get to the higher levels, you can look that up on Google. All the degrees of masonry and the names that go with them, you can look that up. That knowledge is out there. So when someone's a master mason, it's like, dude, you just told me it means 3rd level. They don't know, or they're counting on you not knowing. But what they really like to do is to see if you'll say anything. Most times I don't bite, because most times I know when somebody's got a line and bait in the water. I can usually sense that pretty well. So I usually don't take the bait unless I'm just thinking I can gain something from it. But you know what? This is all going back to Duskblade's comment. Hidden knowledge doesn't necessarily mean control. No, it doesn't. But within groups, you have to have a certain amount of control. With any group, you have to have a certain amount of control. Somebody needs to be the final arbiter of how things are going to go, decision-making processes and stuff like that. Even if they are done with a vote, you still have to have someone kind of lead the whole process. If you look at American politics, the Speaker of the House, you know, that's someone who kind of runs that show. Are they higher than a senator? No. Are they higher than a president? No. But as far as the House of Representatives, they are. Within that realm, they are. I don't know why I mentioned that. But you need a hierarchy, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And always watch out for people that want to be in charge. People who want to be in charge, people who want to be in politics, people who want to be in leadership positions, watch those motherfuckers. Anybody saying I'm going straight to the top, I'm going to run that, they're probably the person you don't need in charge. I heard a comedian say one time that anyone says they want a career in politics should be immediately banned from ever being in politics. People in politics should not want to be there. They should be chosen to be there and almost held against their will to do the will of the people. I like Thomas Jefferson because after he was president, he went back to being a representative for his district. So he just proved that, you know, this is what you should be doing. Instead of being a president with multiple millions of dollars in the bank from a job that only pays $200,000 a year. How do you do that? Hidden knowledge. That's how you do that. Absolutely disgusting. But yeah, Dusk Blade, thank you for that comment. That was really good. I don't know if I pinned that. I should have. Kernagia, Nunslaughter. All right, what we got here? Mitzvots. Mitzvot TV. He says things, I don't know. Mitzvot jumped in here. I read his comment on one of the last videos and was just assuming I was reading that correctly, and Mitzvot just said, you actually nailed my position perfectly. I did misspeak. Ritual stuff does have a place at shows. Yeah, but I don't mind the imagery, though, as long as the goal is the aesthetic, not to control people. You didn't misspeak. I think we were just, we needed a clarification there. And that happens. We use words sometimes in the wrong place, and we don't, just kind of, don't do it intentionally, and someone's like, do you mean this? Like, we clarified, and we got it. So, yeah, I assumed I knew what you meant, but thank you for jumping back in there and making sure that we got that right. Thanks for my definitional correction. Yeah, no problem, dude. That's what we gotta do. I learned that by watching Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder, you remember that guy? You know, he has got that meme and shit where it's like, change my mind. I think this, change my mind, because he did that thing where he went to colleges and was like, change my mind. I think something, you could go down there and just literally debate him. Well, the most important thing he did was when he said a word, or the other person said a word, he was like, let's agree on definitions. Let's agree on definitions. Are we using the right word? Man, that stuck with me because I think a lot of arguments and any conversation, whether you're at work or with your family or with a group of friends or total strangers, I think a lot of times we use the wrong word, or somebody interprets the other definition of that word. So I think it's helpful sometimes to pause the conversation. Can we agree that this is the word we mean, and this is the word we want to use? It takes a second. People are like, yeah, that's what I meant. Just to be on the safe side. Like I said, because arguments start up over sometimes just misunderstandings. And then sometimes people are just so, I dare say, immature that they won't let shit go. And that you gotta be careful with. There comes a certain level of maturity when dealing in certain topics that some of us don't have the maturity. I'm not calling out any names. But again, I think, like Dusk Blade was saying in that last one, prerequisite knowledge. You need prerequisite knowledge to be able to understand certain things. And there's not a problem with that, but it's hard to have a conversation about music theory or even carpentry if you don't know anything about it. So how are you going to have a thoughtful and meaningful conversation on something you actually don't know anything about? Now, here's the fun part. You have, probably in your fucking hand right now, a device that will give you most human knowledge is in your hand right now. You're watching me and listening to me through it. That same device will give you almost any bit of knowledge you want. The trick to using it is knowing what questions to ask. Remember that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? You know, when they were like, what's the secret to life and everything? 42. What the fuck does 42 mean? It was like, well, that's the answer to your question. You just don't understand the question. You know, and sometimes you're not asking the right question. This is the answer, but sometimes it's not the answer to the question you're looking for. You know, because you don't understand the question. You don't understand the words of your question. So, again, it's good to clarify things, just to make sure we're all on the same page. I like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The back of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in bold print, it says, don't panic. Best advice I can give anyone. Don't panic. Start panicking, you're going to take a big gasp of air. You're going to breathe heavier. You're going to make it hard to think. Your muscles are going to tense up. It's going to be, you're going to get tired, basically. You're going to wear out. You're going to wear out faster. Don't panic, remain calm. Through the nose, out through the mouth. Try to focus on your happy place. Try to find something happy. Something, and just kind of keep it in your mind, like, at least nobody's taking that away from me, or at least I can still go home and pet my cat, you know, or something. Let's keep that in the back of your mind, like, I got this, find that Zen moment. And, what's the worst they can do to you? Kill you? What's the worst they can do to you? Prison you? That's pretty bad. We're on Nunslaughter now. Good old Nunslaughter. That's a band I think I need to see live one of these days. And I have covered the rest of my notes. Oh my goodness. I did it all, and I still have a minute left to go. Almost perfect. Alright, y'all, I'm Catabrod, Appalachian Warlord. If it's not voluntary, it's tyranny. Say goodbye, Cat. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time. My face is... Later, y'all.